What the Barbara Bush Houston Literacy Foundation has been able to do is bring all of these people together. People who have a love of literacy, people who have an expertise in literacy, people who are willing to volunteer, people who are willing to give of their time, their energy, their talents, and yes, indeed, even their money to help bring literacy to the forefront in Houston.
What I've seen the Barbara Bush Houston Literacy Foundation do for Houston over the last couple of years is really advance the message that literacy is a cause that we all need to get behind.
Well, literacy is so important because it is the very foundation to success in every area of life. It makes the difference between a life of misery and a life of hope.
So many of our kids can't read, our families, adults, they can't read. And when you talk about leading, that means that when you come up with a blueprint like they did that talks to the real issues, you're able to then begin to garner the kind of other leaders that you need to really address the issue in a city the size of Houston.
So we started our work around the Blueprint for Community Action, and that was a strategy project, and I think our people approached it as a great project where we're not only working for a corporate client, but now we're working for our own community, for our neighbors. People have gotten their significant others and their families involved, and I know even in my own family, we took all the books in our house as part of a book drive, and so it's just, evolved. And I think that's kind of why literacy is, it was something that we could really make a difference.
Well, so as I think about our culture and our values and our mission, it's really providing energy and improving lives. Part of it is making local communities where we live and work a better place. And you think about literacy, you think about education, that falls right in with what we're trying to do.
Don't you remember when we were children and all we got were hand-me-down books?
Yes.
And I loved them.
This is a very exciting day. Thank God for the Barbara Bush Foundation that helps us to fulfill our mission. By having the books in the building, it enables the children to have a hands-on opportunity. Some 500 books, I understand, are being placed on our shelves. That is absolutely wonderful.
It makes a difference.
I'm going to ask that all of the volunteers come inside, find you a chair. We'll start talking about what we're going to do today.
The blueprint has made a huge impact on the effort around Houston. As a matter of fact, I like to say that it's brought about a new synergy around literacy. This blueprint actually speaks to the data, the proven data, that early is better.
Welcome to Clayton Homes and to the Barbara Bush Houston Literacy Foundation Reading Challenge.
That blueprint has garnered leaders around the city. It's brought life to the issue, and I've never seen the level of interest around early development, early literacy development, like I have with the many different movements that blueprint has brought to life.
It was really important to us and my brother's keeper because you will notice that our working groups actually adopted a number of the action steps that was in that foundation's blueprint.
Well, in just about 2 years, we had built a coalition of about 70 different organizations and 150 individuals. And our focus is ensuring that all our kids are able to read at or above grade level by the end of 3rd grade. The foundation has really been with us since the beginning.
There's a huge stigma, especially with adults, if they can't read. And one of the things that I think the foundation has done is shine that light on that stigma and make it okay for people to come out of the shadows and say, I want to learn how to read. I never learned. I've seen mothers and grandmothers with tears in their eyes because they learned how to read and now they can read to their children. Well, we're giving a prescription for reading. What better prescription to walk out of your doctor's office with than a prescription for reading?
My perspective on the literacy crisis here in Houston and how the foundation has impacted it, is endless. Really, you don't realize that these people you see on the streets, these kids that you see getting in trouble that aren't going to job interviews, that aren't working, that aren't finishing school, it's not that they don't want to and they don't have the drive, it's almost that they don't have the tools. There's so many ideas that these children and adults have that haven't been applied because they don't have a voice yet. So I think we're really giving them a voice.
My greatest thing this year has been with my little dyslexic child. I originally saw the article in the paper down at the bottom. It said, you can be a volunteer. And I'm thinking, I can do this. I can volunteer for this. I do. I get so much out of this volunteering work. I think people dread seeing me come and go say, no, I'm going to start talking about my Houston Read kids.
The issue of illiteracy has gotten more attention and more visibility than ever before.
We have principals of elementary schools, we have a coalition of pastors, we have business owners, we have other nonprofits within the area, including the Volunteers of America, we have the Catholic Charities.
They're a convener, and they bring together groups. We're showing models of it actually happening within the community.
When you look at the sky at night, you see all of these stars out there just twinkling.
If it was just one little star, just one little light, there wouldn't be very much. But when all those lights come together, that's when we really can shine a bright light.
And I believe you can shine a light on the opportunities just the same way we can.
We can only do so much. We really need more help to help bring people out of darkness and into the marvelous light.
We are all stars shining for literacy, but there's still some space for more stars.
The Barbara Bush Houston Literacy Foundation is just a big bright light with nothing to stop it. And it's saying to the entire city of Houston that we will be readers, and we will all be readers real soon.